Yo, 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 what is up? What's going on? What's good? Here we are checking in. This is the Sunday, October 24th, 2021 episode of the Boxing Source Radio Show. I'm your host, James Bell, the leader of the Boxing Source on social media. You can catch boxing news and more through the Boxing Source media channels. You got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got Twitter. You also have content on the YouTube channel. There are a few things that we're going to go over in this particular episode. As I'm pretty much back and nearly settled in from being on site in Atlanta, Georgia, after the fight card that was at the State Farm Arena, headlined by the WBO title bout between Jamal Herring and Shakur Stevenson. Just going to be covering that particular fight card and reactions to it, and hopefully he gets some feedback as to how people thought about this particular fight that was at the main event, plus other things that was going down in the boxing scene there, um, as the fight card was broadcast through ESPN, and you also had ESPN Plus with some of the undercard bouts, but you did have the instance where in the main event, you had that WBO super featherweight title on the line. Jamal Herring versus Shakur Stevenson, with Jamal Herring coming in there as the defending WBO champion. You also, did have it where Shakur Stevenson was the man coming up there, undefeated, 16-0, was a former WBO featherweight championship. Jamel Herring came in there with this being his fourth defense of the WBO super featherweight title, and people were coming in there saying what would Shakur Stevenson do. Kind of like talked about it in the previous episode, as far as like what could happen in that particular bout. Um, he had Jamal Herring there, like I said, had four, pretty much like this fourth defense of his WBO title. His last performance was probably one of the better performances in his career, as he was able to stop Carl Frampton back in April, through 6 rounds. While on the flip side, you had Shakur Stevenson, of course, one of the young studs in the boxing game, former Olympic silver medalist, um, came in, trying to get a world title at super featherweight after capturing a title at featherweight there. With his undefeated record, he had, those wins over Toka Khan Clary and then Jeremiah Nakathila, with that latest one being over the summer in June. That kind of like, set the stage for this particular bout. And there was like a lot of history between these two fighters. They pretty much had been briefly training in the same camp. Shakur Stevenson, had briefly had a time there over in the B&B Boxing Academy, of course, headed by uh, Bomac, Brian McIntyre, Coach Bomac. Of course, y'all know about Bomac and his fighters, including Jamel Herring, world champion, uh, Terrence Crawford. You also had, Steven Nelson as part of that, Camp 2, among many others in that B&B Boxing Academy. But Shakur Stevenson, through his young career, kind of like came up through the training and tutelage of K. Karoma, instead of being there over at the B&B Boxing Academy with Brian Bomac McIntyre. But even with that, those two guys, Stevenson and Herring, had a relationship, but it wasn't like they were complete or fully friends, so to speak. Um, and even like months before this fight was uh, going to take place, you know, when people were talking about this being a potential matchup, both Herring and Stevenson said, "Hey, this is just business. It's only business," and things like that. But once it got closer and closer to the bout, you kind of seen the um, mannerisms of one particular Shakur Stevenson, kind of like going at it through the heel side of things. Of course, you had Jamal Herring, of course, being a former Marine, um, kind of like a upstanding guy, um, a gentleman all across the board and things like that. While on the flip side, you have Shakur Stevenson, of course, being a young kid and coming up and, having like that whole, I would say TV type of face or something like that, but um, there were like some things that he's done in the past that kind of like turn a few other boxing fans off, and then leading into this particular fight, particularly the week of the fight, kind of like seeing him try to go at this as like a heel, and you see like in the press conference or in the face to face that Shakur Stevenson was like really trying to get at Jamal Herring. Some may have kind of like seen or heard the comments that Shakur Stevenson had about Jamal Herring's wife, Jennifer Herring, which turned a good number of people off. So he kind of like was one of those guys that some boxing fans wanted to see, like, kind of like get humbled in a sense, and that maybe this would be one of the opportunities where he would get humbled by a fighter like Jamal Herring, who even being there at like 25 professional fights up to that point, is very experienced. Had gone against a few fighters there in the super featherweight division. It was a definite step up in competition uh, coming into the fight for Shakur Stevenson. So, people are like looking forward to what could happen in this particular bout. And you had it there. It was, it was there on the scene, pretty much like ringside or, at the floor level. And you had, Shakur Stevenson in there, coming in there first, uh, introduced or like brought to the ring in there with, Quavo. If y'all know about Quavo and all of that, that was something there. Him being, brought to the ring in the entry to, the ring. So, you also, did have the thing there for Jamal Herring, uh, where he was brought to the ring by Jadakiss. So you had like a few stars out there. Like I said, Quavo. You also had like Jadakiss there. Also, of course, if those who are watching live, they've seen that Kanye West made an appearance there at the State Farm Arena for this particular event. We'll go into more about all that a little bit later, but um, getting to the about first round, I was there ringside, and you had like a good amount of fans coming from New Jersey and things like that, um, in support of Shakur Stevenson, and they were like kind of going in there at like that Jamel Herring really didn't have much of a chance against Shakur Stevenson. And in that first round was, I'm telling you, with me being there live, I just seen that, like, man, Shakur Stevenson just showed that he was, on another level than Jamal Herring. Was showing his speed, was showing his accuracy. He was very accurate. Um, Showed that he had, more power, and that you did not see this amount of activity coming from Shakur Stevenson in a fight in a long time, or probably ever. As he just outclassed Jamal Herring from the outset. And you kind of like seen that he was tagging Jamal Herring way before Jamal Herring would even react or even throw a punch. And in that, when they were, pretty much at a distance, that Jamal Herring didn't really react uh, re- really that well to Shakur Stevenson's punches. And that, oh man, that it was just like almost seemed like it was going to be a walk in the park early in the fight. Um, and the supporters of Shakur Stevenson, pretty much that were there ringside, were just saying like this, it was easy work. It was just easy work. And you seen, what was happening in the first and second rounds, and after the end of those rounds, Shakur Stevenson was walking back to his corner like, yeah, this guy was not on my level. He's like nowhere near me. Like he can't, really touch me uh in any way. And I was just, me personally, I was just shocked about it, because I thought I would have, seen more of an effort from Jamal Herring from those first couple of rounds, that he would be able to get back to Shakur Stevenson, that he would be able to, just swing back or throw back at Shakur Stevenson in those first couple of rounds. But you just see like combinations coming from Shakur Stevenson, even though, at times Jamal Herring had his hands up, his guard up, he was still getting fairly damaged there by Shakur Stevenson. And that you just had it to where it was a clear domination there by Shakur Stevenson early in those fights. I mean, I was there for the first 6 rounds and didn't really see much from Jamal Herring in those first 6 rounds that would have had me even scoring one round for Jamal Herring. He had like a little bit more success around the 7th and 8th round, but he was still getting tagged, and the the eyes were like kind of getting real bad around round 8. And it didn't necessarily have like a cut or anything like that, but he was getting checked by the referee. And then, rounds the thing around like rounds 9, then you kind of like saw a cut there on Jamal Herring's eye. And then in round 10, just seeing like more offense from Shakur Stevenson to open up the cut over Jamal Herring's eye. And then at that point, the referee Mark Nelson put a stop to the bout halfway through that 10th round to give Shakur Stevenson the win, and he is now the WBO super featherweight champion. Not still undefeated now with 17 bouts, 17 wins, and it registers as his 9th KO victory of his pro career. I want to bring in our guest here. That kind of like, I guess was talking about this fight with me. The I would like to bring him in, coming from the Boogie Down Bronx. He, yes, he is the former president of the Deontay Wilder fan club, Mr. Matthew Brown. Uh,
I wasn't sure if I was ready to come back, Jr.
Yeah, I guess you had some serious thought before you wanted to come back in. Didn't know if you had quite recovered as of yet, but at least there is some little solace that after today, one of your stipulations for the bet will be removed. You could go back to having a, a regular profile pic. Like you,
Man,
yeah.
I still can't believe that ref cheated Wilder, man.
Oh man. So uh yeah, man. I'm yeah. I'm talking was talking about this fight, Herring-Stevenson, man. I'm kind of all the way back from being in Atlanta, man. It was kind of like a surprising little scene to me, in a sense, because I thought it would have been I'm gonna be honest, I thought it would be a little bit crowd would be a little bit sparse, but looks like Mr. Prince put in a little work or something, because the at least the 100 level was pretty packed, but hey.
Bro, it was 5,000 people there.
I did say the 100 level. I ain't said nothing about 200 or
Oh,
anywhere else.
oh, okay. I'm like, what? It didn't work.
That's all I was saying. I was like, okay, these 100 levels are
It was
fairly packed a
5,000
little
people
bit,
there.
but
And most of the people there was celebrities, friends, and families with free tickets and media.
yeah. I just compared to Tank versus Barrios, like they didn't have much of a media role with Tank Barrios on the floor. So
Because I
hey,
looked at it this way. It was 5,000 people there.
uh-huh.
But notice I ain't say it was 5,000 tickets sold.
Yeah,
So when I
there's
was looking
that
at the
too.
website, it was
There's
a lot
that
of
too.
dots.
Oh man. Uh, cause one side was the side for people that had ringside seats,
Uh-huh.
and then the other side was media row in the stage for the ESPN people, for like Tim Bradley and all of those. So
Did you
yeah.
get a chance to talk to anyone interesting?
Uh, I missed I did get a chance to talk to Kanye. Did get a chance to
But
talk to Jay Prince.
you lying. You talked to Kanye?
Yeah, I couldn't talk to Kanye, man.
How
He
was his
was there.
haircut?
He was there sitting at ringside, man.
Did you get to see Bud?
Whoa.
Bud Crawford.
Oh man, he was like back and forth too, man.
Damn.
I
I
don't know,
saw you
man.
got
I
up
think I
close
think he
with
was I think
Amanda
he was
Holyfield.
still I think he was still reacting to the Tavada showing up at the State Farm Arena out of nowhere. Yeah, man. Hold on, man. I wanted to add in another guest coming up here that may have a little bit of thoughts about the fight. Checking in from uh, ATL Shouty, the standing vice president of the Deontay Wilder fan club, but he might be upgraded to president. Mr. Mike Grady, what's happening?
What's going on, fellas?
Mike Grady, how you doing, brother?
Doing well, doing well. Gonna bet JR on the next fight so I can get your title back. It's kind of lonely up here at the top, or somewhere wherever we maybe not the top, but somewhere near there.
Heavy
Hey
is
Stop,
the
James,
stop.
hand
you
that
didn't tell
holds
me
the
that you was at the
crown.
fight.
Oh man, how can I say this? Um, I'll just put it this way: it was. kind of a surprise that I got approved for this particular bout. That's pretty much what I'll say about that.
Oh, it's cool. What I'm saying is, I would have definitely went there if I'd have known you was at the fight. I would have bought one of them cheaper tickets.
Uh,
I don't
yeah.
think you would have had to buy a ticket, brother.
I mean, I don't know. I asked James to look into whatever, but hey,
Nah,
who knows?
if you were to walk past the arena, they'd ask you to come in.
Oh, gotcha.
It was that bad. They only had a crowd of 5,000 people in there.
What was the seating?
Well, Tank did over 16,000.
Hmm.
It was the same arena.
So if I'd have came in, I could have got like a seat down below.
Yeah.
James didn't convince me to come. I just saw pictures of Kanye and Evander Holyfield, and who else you took pictures of?
Man, there wasn't really much I could access after that. I couldn't find Jada or Quavo after they had those ring introductions or whatever it was. And I wasn't taking no picture of Jay Prince.
Yeah, that does seem kind of disrespectful.
I'm
Or
sick of
maybe
this motherfucker.
or Bob Arum. All I wanted to hear from Bob Arum was "Shut the fuck up, you little prick."
Hey, Bob doubled down on that too.
Oh man,
I
I
don't know if you
missed
heard
it.
his interview. Someone asked him if he regret the way he treated Coppinger. He said no. These writers today, they don't understand like respect or how to be professional.
Well, I don't think Mike Coppinger was about like anywhere near Bob Arum during that night. So I'll just say that.
Yeah, I
Uh,
take it that Bob Arum would say some shit that he probably shouldn't say to somebody with your complexion. You know, that's just let me be quiet.
well,
Let's go
it
to the next
depends on
subject.
how much he had up to the point of the up to the point of the fight. Oh
It
man.
depends on how much weed he smoked.
Shouldn't that make him cooler though?
Nah, Bobby high as a kite, man. I'm telling
What
you.
I'm saying, shouldn't that make him more docile?
No, he'll curse you out, but he'll just smile while he's doing it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Hey,
yeah, that's pretty
what y'all thought about the fight?
man. Where was this Shakur Stevenson when he was fighting Jeremiah Nakathila, Toka Khan Clary, Joette Gonzalez, freaking Alberto Guevara or Chris Diaz or something like that, man.
Well, I wasn't very impressed. I just think Herring was trash.
Kind of like
Who's
what?
trash?
Herring.
Oh,
No one's gonna say it because he's a great guy, nice guy,
Yeah,
Marine. Everybody we know, everyone loves him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he was trash. He
man.
showed zero heart, or maybe I'm just spoiled by watching Deontay Wilder because when the referee took Jamal Herring to that corner to have the doctor check on that eye and potentially stop the fight, you would have thought that would have been a signal for him to just, fuck it. I'm opening up. I'm throwing my hands. I'm going to try to get this motherfucker out of there. But no, he just went back to doing the same thing. You saw when Deontay Wilder in the first Luis Ortiz fight thought that the doctor was going to stop the fight. He went out there and he got rid of Ortiz. You saw when it looked like the doctor was going to stop the fight in his last fight against Fury, he went down swinging. I guess it's not for everybody. Everybody don't got that in them. And
yeah, you can't judge everybody off that.
I was completely disgusted by these motherfuckers taking pictures together in the ring afterwards. All this lovey-dovey shit after this man disrespected you in public. in restaurants, in front of your family, in front of your wife. His wife wasn't having that. His wife was like, "Get this little nigga away from me." She a real one, but I don't like people that are too comfortable with losing. You know, I don't like that. So to me, I think Herring just need to retire because he don't got that fire in him anymore. Obviously, you know, I hope he made good money. I hope he made good investments, but I don't need to see him in the ring no more after
Man, I
what I
want to push
saw
back
yesterday.
on something that you're saying. One
What
thing
was that?
that I'm sorry, what you said?
No, I said, what was that? I didn't hear you.
I said I want to push back on one thing that you're saying.
Okay.
So I get it where you say his wife said she ain't having none of it. I understand that. One thing though is that I think women had a luxury of a cushion, a buffer to be able to express those emotions and nothing kind of becomes of it. My observation, this is just a speculation. Part of the reason why he wasn't talking slick or wasn't whatever is probably causing the back of his mind. He had an idea that it's a possibility that this dude could whoop his ass. And you go into the fight where the dude did whoop your ass, the dude was stronger than you. Like you said, definitely you could tell the dude has high character. You could tell the dude, even just seeing how he interact with people online, the dude is a good dude. But if somebody can whoop your ass, as men, if someone can whoop your ass, you gonna talk shit after they whoop your ass, knowing
He
that they
ain't
can
have to
whoop your
talk
ass
shit,
again.
but he ain't have to be all friends and family taking pictures together and shit.
Matt, what I'm saying is, if you know somebody can whoop your ass, as men, it is in your advantage to be friendly with said person. Yes, it's on some boxing stuff. Yes, it wasn't going to amount to nothing or whatever. But all I'm saying, the psychology behind that, with men, if somebody can whoop your ass, you going to probably be their friend. You ain't
Well, all I'm
upsetting the
saying
apple
is
cart.
thank God for guys like Deontay Wilder, like Marco Antonio Barrera, because to me, if it's beef, it's fuck you, and that's it. And Deontay Wilder was on that type of time. He not doing all that hee ha ha to sell a fight. If it's beef, like Shakur made it seem like it was beef between them, then ain't no friendship after the fight. Maybe when we old and retired, we could talk about shit later, but it's beef. Joe Frazier died hating Muhammad Ali. That's the kind of shit I like. Okay? I don't like high character for my fighters. Leave that high character shit to a golf player or a motherfucking tennis player. I like dogs. Motherfuckers that want to rip your heart out. Motherfuckers that hate losing more than they love winning. You know, that's the kind of fighter I like because to me, those kind of fighters are gonna be those that are willing to go out on their shield. They never feel like they're out of a fight, like a Deontay Wilder, like a Chico Corrales. You know, guys like that who said, "Oh yeah, you might be beating my ass right now, but all it's gonna take is one shot to change this fight," and I respect that. And if Jamal Herring had that dog in him yesterday, when that doctor came over to check his motherfucking eye, he should have went after it because there were times in that fight, whenever he let his hands go, Shakur didn't want to exchange with him. Shakur stopped throwing.
Yep.
That should have been the fucking strategy. Come on, man. Dog ain't got no heart.
Well, that was when he was throwing body shots. He had a lot of success when he was throwing body shots. And like you said, Shakur wasn't trying to exchange due to the body shots. It slowed him down. Those were rounds that it was one round, round five, where you know, I couldn't give him the round, but I would have called that a 10-10 round because what's his name, control half the action and Shakur Stevenson, kind of did what he did the whole fight, but he definitely changed the tone of the fight by throwing them body shots. He just, yeah, man. The speed kills, yes, but when you combine that with being sort of content, I mean, I agree with part of what you're saying, but it's not easy when somebody got your number and mano y mano in your mind, you kind of know that this guy can whoop your ass. Yes, somebody, where I'm from, you might maybe whoop my ass, but you know, I'm gonna bring it until they know my ass to whoop. But yeah, that's something you gotta learn. I mean, you could tell that you gotta train the dog in people. Like, yeah, you can say people have it, but I think that's sort of it's a mentality that's built, that's sort of cultivated. I'm gonna let somebody else talk.
All right. I was gonna say something about the thing about like being a dog. Um, but I wanted to get someone in, that kind of saw this coming. I gave him so much
Oh
resistance.
no! I
I
was
gave
trying
him
to avoid
so
this guy.
much resistance over the week, and because of what happened, Matt, I might have to borrow that avatar for a little bit and change my joint, because here is Mr. Give Me My Credit, Mr. Who You Picked himself. It's our guy, world ranked. What's going on, man?
Crown the motherfucker. Now, when we go to work and we work hard and we don't care that our job don't care, your career don't care what the fuck's going on at home. They don't care what your kids got going on. They don't care about none of that shit. All they think they care about is you getting the job done. And that's how I feel right now. I don't give a fuck what Shakur did at any other time. I don't give a fuck what he did at the gas station. You can discredit a man all you want, but when you see results, you got to give it up to him. And that man did what he's supposed to do. Like Coach Singletary said, we don't want nobody that don't play with us. We want winners. We don't want nobody else. Can't coach him, can't win with him, can't do nothing with him. We want winners. And for me, that's all I give a fuck about. I don't care nothing about press conferences. I don't care about none of that shit. I don't care if you're an exciting fighter. I don't care about, are you getting a W, my guy? And my guy did that. So salute to him. And that's all I got to say.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him.
Can't do it.
Oh man. Oh, I was just like, oh man, this is not good at all, man. And kind of like going on the point of what we were talking about with Matt and Mike in reference to Jamal Herring. Um, in the conversation I had like earlier today, it kind of like said that same thing about Jamal Herring, that he just wasn't a dog in there. And someone brought up like a great example of it. It was last year when he had his fight against Jonathan Akendo, and it was an accidental headbutt. And his mannerisms then, it would seem like he wanted to have that fight stopped, that he wouldn't continue, that he was just saying like he wanted to check out early or whatnot, and not really, try to like get back at Jonathan Akendo for like having his, the blood over his eye and stuff like that. Like he just wanted to have that, that fight stop, because Okenda was like headbutting him, and he didn't want to get it back. And so with that, you kind of like seeing that, okay, I realize, or I know that this guy is like much faster than me, could do, multiple things in there, but I'm gonna make this a dog fight. And if I make this a dog fight, then I'll have a much better chance in there. Because even with me being the taller fighter and having the reach, I wasn't really doing much of that at all. I'm just trying to stand there and move, move my body and move my head and this and that or whatever, and still getting beat with the jab and everything like that. But I'm gonna make this a sloppy fight. If I know that this guy's faster than me, I'm gonna make this a sloppy fight. If I'm the bigger guy, I'm gonna make this a sloppy fight. I'm gonna grab him, I'm gonna hold him, I'm gonna lean on him, I'm gonna do whatever I can. If the referee don't say shit, then I'm gonna keep doing it. But he didn't even do that, you know. And so all we just saw was more of Shakur Stevenson just showing that he was on a whole different level than Jamal Herring, and Jamal Herring just just went in there just to show up. It seemed.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question about Spawn. Do y'all think that the mindset they spar before played a part in both of their mentalities? Because Stevenson seemed to be more not aggressive. I don't think that's the right word, but it was a confidence about him from the first bell. Like he knew that he'd been in with that guy, and that brought some type of more confidence to him. I think that played a factor in the fight.
So I didn't know that fact that you just mentioned, but to me, when Matt made a comment and I made a response to him in that, like, if I knew somebody could whoop my ass, I wouldn't talk shit to him. I'd probably like be making friends with him and stuff. But it makes sense if they sparred and he got the better of him and he knew he could whoop his ass. It makes sense why he was like, haha, we friends, when the dude talking shit pre press conference and stuff like that. Of course it has something to do with his mindset. If you know this man got your number and 9 times out of 10 he got your number and you don't have that equalizer like a Deontay Wilder that'll, oh, you think you got me now, I'll get you. Like if you don't have that and you know like 10 times, 9 times out of 10 that this guy will probably have your number, yeah, the mind is gone. Like it's like what else is there? It makes sense though.
Yeah, but where was that uppercut? Did he throw one uppercut on the inside?
Nope.
Like I'm not gonna blame Bomac because at the end of the day, Bomac is just a trainer. But I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's what happens when you're too nice of a guy, man. Because you can't dog me out in front of my friends and family constantly, and then I'm not trying to take your head off. I just it's what we call a game loser. Just someone that's okay losing. They know they're getting beat. They'll take their beating, they'll lose, and then they'll move on. I don't like that. Though that's a guy like Arturo Gatti. He was a game loser, you know. But when you're a guy like Deontay Wilder or a guy like Diego Corrales, you in your heart never believe that you're out of a fight. So you
Ricardo Mayorga.
continue searching and searching for that punch to change the trajectory of the fight. And you just didn't see that with Jamal Herring. And like I said, when that doctor checked on that eye, there was a chance they could stop the fight. I wanted to see some fire, but you didn't. And it was sad to see, man, because you would think that after all that man put him through, after all that shit talking, when he was trying to eat the crab legs, this dude cursing him out in the restaurant, talking shit, all this stuff, you would think that he could have summoned something within his soul to at least go balls to the wall to try to get that kid out of there. And he just couldn't do it.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question. You just made a point about y'all named 3 fighters who have something that he don't have. So y'all talking about a different mindset because these guys were punchers. He's not a puncher. Can y'all tell me any fights that y'all remember for a guy applying what y'all saying applying that don't have the power and
Tim Bradley.
Tim Bradley,
Okay.
Sean Porter.
Okay,
Sorry
fair
for not
point.
letting you finish your sentence, but Tim Bradley.
Nah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I off the top of my head, I couldn't think of guys who were. But okay, so in what fights? And I'm thinking about Tim Bradley. What fights that he put? Now he did have dog in him. I'm not denying that. But what fights did he use that against a
Provodnikov.
better fighter?
Provodnikov
Was
was beating
Provodnikov
his
a better
ass.
fighter though? Okay.
But Provodnikov was beating his ass. It's not about whether or not the person is technically better, more skilled, and all this other stuff. It's about, are you getting your ass beat, and are you gonna summon up whatever it is that's inside the mind of these maniacs? Because make no mistake, to step in a ring, you got to be a fucking maniac. There's something in the mind of these maniacs that they just won't stop coming.
Right.
Pacquiao won. Before people drug him down and broke his mental fortitude, he had a different mindset in that Pacquiao one fight, which let me know that he would beat Juan Manuel Marquez. Like, it let me know he was a different person, physically and mentally, after everybody sort of clowned him after that Pacquiao one fight. But if you look at that Pacquiao one fight, even though he was throwing feather-fisted shots, he still was trying to win. He still was like, wild Tim Bradley, who was just like throwing shots like he was like windmilling left and right. Like, imagine you holding your hands out like you being Hulk or something. You just swing your hands like that. He was doing that. Man, I don't agree with you in that you can't blame it on the coach, because if they sparred before, that means the coach have seen Shakur Stevenson for, which means that they should have came up with some better to overcome his deficit. Which, if that plan was go balls to the wall,
He did, though. You heard Womack in the corner telling him, you can't just be throwing one punch. You got to throw combinations against this guy. Because when Herring let his hands go, Shakur stopped throwing. Womack saw it. It's just Herring didn't like what was coming back at him. And he didn't want to put himself through that.
Yeah, it was like he didn't want to, get himself hurt or whatever it was, when you're supposed to be the dude that's the bigger guy coming into this particular fight. And if you throw, you don't even know like what punch will be in there that could hurt Shakur Stevenson.
Exactly.
And the thing about it is that you got to throw every tool in your arsenal that's in there. So
where was the uppercut?
Yeah, where's your uppercut? Like, where is a right hook or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, get in there and try to clinch him up, then do an uppercut. You were like throwing some shots to the body, but you weren't throwing no uppercuts. You weren't throwing no hooks up close. None of that. You weren't trying to muck it up or any type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Do y'all remember Roy Jones and undefeated James Toney? Y'all remember that fight, right?
Super middleweight, yep.
At some point, okay, James Toney mentally, he was defeated mentally in that he knew that he couldn't beat Roy Jones. At some point, I don't think he was throwing shots to win per se. He was he was fighting because he has that pride. You could tell he's a prideful person, and outside of Roy Jones, he could beat most people, knock out Evander Holyfield, all this other stuff. But what I'm saying is, at some point in that fight, he knew that there's nothing he could do mentally. He was defeated in that fight. Let me just say that. Was it meaning that what's the name was gonna knock him out? No, but he knew he was getting outclassed, and if he cranked it up, he probably could get knocked out then. All I'm saying is, when you know somebody is that much more better physically, and then they also are much better tactically, it's like Andre Ward and what's the tall brown skinny dude when he the first one who like knocked him out before he started getting knocked out? Chad Dawson.
Yep.
Like, at some point, Chad Dawson was like, shit, this is why I realized I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, it was just like, what could Chad Dawson do? Now, Chad Dawson, in my memory, kept trying, but He was overmatched. It was nothing he could do. What can you do when you know somebody got your number and they're faster, they're stronger, and then they're tactically better than you?
Just keep fighting.
You keep fighting. Hit.
Listen, how many times Diego Corrales got knocked down by Floyd? Like 7, 8 times.
Yeah, about 6 times. It looked like
he ain't stopped.
Yeah, he kept trying to, or look at, or like I said, as far as like when you have those type of disadvantages, you muck it up. Look at Orlando Salido against freaking Lomachenko, man.
Exactly.
He mucked it up. You know,
that's a good analogy.
He just said, you know what? I'm going to make this a sloppy fight. I'm not gonna allow my opponent to get off his offense. I'm gonna make a way to tie him up.
And I'm gonna hit you wherever I can hit you.
Yeah,
I don't care where it lands.
Yeah,
y'all say that, but that's not. I don't think that's a 1-to-1 comparison. Lomachenko is a pretty boy. He's a ballet dancer.
So was Shakur.
Lomachenko ain't no dog. Lomachenko, his Achilles heel.
Oh man.
Yes, but Shakur fought like a man who knew that he could beat that man. He may not be as confident against other people because he's not sure he can beat other people, but against that man, he knew he could beat that man.
Yeah, that's because of the sparring sessions, though.
Because of the sparring session. All I'm saying is the Mexican dude, whatever his name y'all just said, that was different because Lomachenko has his Achilles heel is pressuring him and throwing shots like that. Like if you do that, that's how you win. That's how what's his name was able to get the lead off those first few rounds. And then when Lomachenko was like, "Why am I not pressing the issue? Because this dude actually can't mess with me on the inside." And then once he started doing it, it was a different fight. Lomachenko different. Lomachenko don't know that he that dog. I don't think the fact that he fight like real nice and ballet dancer-ish, he don't have in his mind that he a dog. I would even go so far to say that is very similar to Usyk as well. I don't think Usyk is probably more like Lomachenko, but at heavyweight.
No, Usyk is what people think Lomachenko is.
Yeah.
Usyk is actually good and has that dog in him.
But what's his name? The black guy, Del Boy, showed that Usyk don't got the dog because Usyk didn't want them problems when he was trying to come at him like that.
Y'all know another.
It was like,
know what?
Yeah, I know another dog fight I was thinking about was the Broner Madonna one.
Oh yeah,
the
Broner showed me a lot in that fight.
Yeah, bro, like that. But Broner lost something too. He lost something mentally in that fight as well. But that's the one fight that I had respect and was like, all this money I done spent. I went to maybe like 2 or 3 Broner fights like earlier in his career, and I'm like, man, I'm glad that I went to this dude fights because all this money I spent is well worth it because he showed me that he never stopped trying. He didn't want to lose his oath. Yeah, but he wasn't overmatched. Well, maybe he was. I don't know. Yeah, he was overmatched. I don't know.
But that go back to Matt thought about having that dog and with those spawn sessions and who Hearn is, he probably is just and probably at this stage in his career, he probably just ain't have it.
You know who else don't have that dog in them? And I'm calling this early. Teofimo Lopez does not have that dog in him.
I might agree with you because what I saw at the end of that Lomachenko fight.
Oh no! He almost got Lomachenko out of there. That's not why I'm saying he ain't got that dog in him. I've always been a big Teofimo fan, but the way he talked about why he didn't want to spar Rolly Romero anymore because Rolly was too rough with him, throwing the elbows, mucking it up like that. That tells me that somebody take him into them deep waters and they roughing his ass up. That boy gonna wilt.
Which is what I was gonna say. What's his name? What you just said? What is boy name?
Teofimo.
Teofimo. I don't know. I'm tripping today. I'm sort of scatterbrained. But Teofimo is a front runner. Yes, he can win the front fight and looks good winning and beating you to the punch and all this stuff. But once he start fatiguing, that's when his mind go. Which to me, once he got on the back end of that fight, he didn't look like the same type of fighter who was like game. He was like he everything that you're saying where he was wilting, he was wilting. He looked like he to me was a few punches away from if you pressure him, he'd be willing to quit. Like
Well, yeah,
it's a reach.
that
What you
one was
saying?
kind of like you kind of like seen that, but for me, that 12th round kind of like showed me that at least he wanted to get that win. Because even in that 12th round, you seen him getting back at Lomachenko, and he could have seriously hurt Lomachenko in that 12th round, but
Russell Mora.
He dug deep. You're right. I forgot about the
A
12th
little
round.
bit.
He won the fight in the 12th round because he dug deep and was like, I want this more than you want it. But before that 12th round, it was like, does he really want this? And then,
Yeah.
12th round came, he like, hey, I'm here. I just got to take this. I've done everything I needed to do. This is a close fight. I need to win this last round to win this fight.
I'm
I
dying to
mean,
see him fight Tank though, so badly.
But you know what? I think he might have. I don't. I don't know what it was, but I think he had some reservations of fighting George Kambosos, because George Kambosos is like, yo, I'm gonna do anything I want to do in order to win this fight, and I ain't impressed by anything that you do, Teofimo Lopez. So I'm thinking Lopez had reservations of having this fight with Kambosos, but let's see if that fight actually does take place.
I
That's
want to see Kambosos make it an ugly fight,
yeah,
and then see what we get out of Lopez.
yep. Because you'll be able to see if if he has a dog in him or not. If Kambosos mucks it up a little bit. But man, we're back on this thing here with Stevenson and Herring, but kind of like after the fight, was out there in the press conference, and Shakur Stevenson was, still on that tip about, Oscar Valdez, and he kind of like said, "Hey, I know that Bob is trying to go ahead and make Oscar Valdez versus Emmanuel Navarrete and all that type of stuff, but y'all can't keep putting Valdez, over on the shelf away from me, man. Eventually, sooner or later, we're gonna have to fight. You know, um, it's like it was like how they did with Valdez when he moved up. They just had him go up against the WBC champ or whatnot instead of going up against Herring when Herring had the title. So I think that is kind of a thing there where it kind of like saying like, hey, we don't want to have our guys. It's coming like the top rank special all over again, man. Like if you're
Yep.
gonna have Valdez fighting Burchell, and then instead of fighting Jamal Herring, uh, you go ahead and fight freaking Emmanuel Navarrete, then what are y'all doing out here? So Stevenson was like, come on, man, y'all can't have Valdez running for me forever and all of that. He's been wanting that fight for about almost 2 years now. So there was that, and he also did say that probably the biggest fight that he could have against the young guys there at 135 is against Tank Davis. That would be a real good fight.
He think that's what he want.
I don't know. Maybe he has to go over to Los Angeles in December and see what Tank Davis is gonna do to Rolly Romero.
I'm telling you, Tank different, man.
Yeah,
People sleeping on him because that boy is skilled. He's great defensively, where you're not going to hit him with the same shots over and over again. And we know the power's real.
oh yeah. well, they call, the guys under Mayweather Promotions. I think like put the tag on him being Baby Tyson. But some have said that he's kind of like as exciting as Deontay Wilder is.
Yeah,
because he knocks those guys out. You know, whether it's round 1 or round 12, he'll get a knockout.
and the
Like
fact that he could carry that power when people thought that he had discipline issues when it comes to making weight, the fact that he carries his power so late really is a testament to how great a fighter he is. And I
yep,
use the word great, not good. Tank is a great fighter.
the great Gervonta Tank Davis, there, man. Yeah, man, I can't wait for that fight there against Rolly. Man, he's gonna knock that guy out, man. He
And he
said,
better, because if he don't, Rolly gonna knock his ass out.
"Yeah, that's true." But dude said, dude said at the press conference, like he coming outside here with a fur coat, man. This guy
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, Rolly was wild and coming out looking like Pootie Tang with that fur coat with no shirt on.
Yeah, with no shirt.
So I was like, what the hell?
Like either way, man. Like you see, he was Los Angeles anyway. Like he coming in there with a fur coat.
But you know how retarded Rolly is? He said he had on a fur coat because he thought that the press conference was going to be inside.
Indoors. Yep.
Yo.
It's like that man got a couple of screws loose.
Yeah, something wrong with Rolly, man.
Yeah, there's something seriously wrong with that kid, man.
Hey, I heard this interview by Bun B where they was talking about this is it's a side point, but I'm gonna talk about what y'all saying. But an interview by Bun B where he was talking about UGK and them in the Big Pimpin' video when Pimp C wore the fur coat in Miami Heat, and then they was like asking him like why was he wearing the fur coat? He said the video camera or TV ain't got no temperature. You know what I'm saying? So maybe Rolly was on that. The people on the TV understand it because it ain't got no temperature.
Nah, Rolly wouldn't have that type of thought process though. So yeah, that wasn't what he was on, man. Um,
Hey, shout out to Pimp C, Bun B.
word. Oh man, shoot, I over there in the scene in Atlanta too, man. They had all those other fights, man. It was just like mismatches, the thing on ESPN, you had, of course, Nico Ali Walsh. Pretty, he knocked out the dude James Wesley, man. Just hurt the kid, and Xander Zayas was just on a whole different level than Dan Carpenter. That was just a whole wash there. But they're trying to see if Zayas is going to be like the prospect of the year. You know what I'm saying? And they did have Evander Holyfield, in attendance because his son there, was able to get that win over Charles Stanford. That was probably the knockout of the night. In the second round, man, like being there ringside, he caught Charles Stanford with a left hook that stunned him, and then he followed through with the right hand that went on the ear. It just like he just checked him out, man. It was almost like like dude that would get knocked out in the street, just get hit with a good 2-piece, bam, bam, and going down to the ground, and Evan Holyfield stood over him, and I was like, oh man, this dude was out. So that was like a knockout of the night. He had like one of our guests here, man, Haven Brady Jr. He had a unanimous decision win over Roberto Negret. That was a real tough fight for him, real tough fight for the young guy. And he got like 3 scores of 40-36, but some people kind of like felt that it was a lot closer fight than that. But that kind of like sums up most of that card that was on there and whatnot. So that kind of like covers that. But
I got a question.
Yo,
Does Holyfield like he got the initial onset of CTE? Did he look like he was sort of so like his mannerisms were slurred and sort of. I'm not trying to like right them, but I something didn't look right to me watching him
That's
on camera.
yeah, that's what some people were saying when you know they got the reaction of when they were talking to him about his son's win, and he was like, yeah, talking slurred and kind of like delayed and whatnot. And for me, he always had that um like walk like he was a retired football player that had a whole bunch of injuries and really couldn't keep up, as far as like, you know, medical care or something like that. Cause he'd be walking like he is like definitely hurt bad. And man, I don't know, man. That's why him having that fight that he had, I'm like, I don't know why that the state of Florida or that Florida State Athletic Commission even sanction that fight with him being in it. But yeah, not. It didn't look like he was really in a good state or whatnot. But I mean, on the outside he looks good, but yeah, it looks like he's having those stages where it might be like that. Cause like you could probably like compare him to like a George Foreman, and George Foreman been in the game just about as long, but you don't necessarily, you know, like when you see him and you hear him talk, you don't really see like that type of stuff coming from George Foreman though. But with the
Yeah,
red blue, yeah,
Holyfield, he walked like Earl Campbell, and he
yeah.
talked like Rolly Romero.
Oh man, yeah,
I don't know. I saw an interview where what's his name, George Foreman was talking about the Deontay Wilder fight, and I'm comparing him to how I remember him announcing, but he looked different too. His presentation looked different too.
I mean,
Well,
his
don't forget
delivery's a
he
little
in
bit
his
slower.
70s by now.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, Joe. Remember, Foreman's actually old. Holyfield's not that old.
yeah, yeah. Like Foreman's like in his 70s, man.
Yeah, Foreman got at least 20 years on Holyfield.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of like different, man. Um, but yeah, like that was like a little bit of an experience there, man. I just felt it was like interesting that you had the whole thing with when they did the thing with the belts with the belt tradition and like transferring the belts and all of that. And Shakur Stevenson going into Jamal Herring's locker room, and they're in there hugging it up. And Jennifer Herring was just there with her arms folded.
Yep, that's what I like to see.
And you can see her eyes rolling. I was like,
Through the sunglasses.
yeah, like she was like she wanted to really slap that kid. I was like, oh no, oh man, that was wild there, man. Oh boy, but I mean, I think y'all were on point as far as like with Herring, he just didn't have a dog in him,
Is
and
it time for him to retire?
uh, yeah, yeah, because I mean, the thing about it was, even before this fight took place, he wasn't really talking about, being in 130 pounds, that much longer anyway. He was like really trying to get to, 135. He's probably, that's probably because of, him, being around, 30, 35 years old. So his like his body is not really, really getting used to trying to cut weight that fast. So maybe it, was something where he said like, look, I can't, try to keep cutting this weight down to 130 that much longer, being there at 5'10" or whatever it is. But for me, man, if he would go up to 135, like what is he going to do at 135? You know what I
Get knocked
mean?
out?
So it's like, what else is out there for him? What
Hey
other?
Matt, stop hating on this man. You know good and well he could fight these UK fighters and pad his record.
He wasn't good at 135 before. That's why his ass moved to 130 to resurrect his career. He got his ass whipped then. He's gonna get his ass whipped now.
I mean, the point I was trying to make, couldn't he fight the UK fighters and be okay?
What UK fighters they got at 135?
You know better than I do.
Everybody at 135 American, and they all killers. They all knocking his ass out.
What if, who would he fight? Who would he fight? Masayoshi Nakatani, you know what I'm saying? Or
Who you gonna fight? Lee Selby?
Lee Selby? Yeah, he could fight Lee Selby out there in the UK.
That's what I'm saying. He could fight those guys and be okay. He ain't got to fight people that he know that may beat him. Let me just say, not that he know that may or may not beat him. He can fight guys that like his win over whatever that dude name. He looked pretty good in that fight. He just need to fight people like that. If he on the tail end of his career.
Talking about Carl Frampton?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Carl Frampton came up from 126.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the business side won't dictate that anyway because he ain't no A side. So ain't nobody gonna be paying guys to come in and beat their fighters.
Yep.
So he only gonna get paydays to be a B side.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, like we want to go through all of that just to be a B-side opponent. I know you like kind of like requested those guys at over in the UK, but like would he travel over to the UK to be a B-side opponent for somebody like that? I don't really think so. So
If it means not getting knocked out or stopped, TKO, whatever you call it, maybe he would.
I don't know, man. I just don't really see that coming from him. But hey, who knows? Well, right, you were gonna say something on it. Oh, I thought it was there. Man, what's gonna like y'all were speaking about lightweight, man. Looks like they finally made this fight here between Devin Haney and JoJo Diaz.
Nope.
Or did
nope.
they? Uh-oh.
Nope. Somebody ain't been checking their Twitter feed.
Oh man. Oh, don't tell me they're fucked up.
Devin Haney said, "Yo, JoJo, when the fuck you gonna sign this deal so we can make this fight official?" JoJo said, "When you guys send a new and improved deal."
Oh my god. Oh my god. Ah, this is crazy, man. That's bad, man. That's bad. Let me see here if I could get more reactions to either what happened this weekend or other news, man. I wanted to bring in another guest here. What's going on with you, man?
I'm good, bro. I just I saw your channel. I saw that you were live, so I was watching for a little bit, and then I just joined. I wanted to join in.
True, man. You caught the thing there with Herring-Stevenson there, man.
The Stevenson Harrison. What did you say?
Stevenson and Herring.
Oh yeah. I saw the highlights of the fight. I couldn't watch it live though, but I saw that he was pretty much dominating him. And Herring wasn't really doing much.
Yeah, it was just man. He just seemed he was overmatched, but didn't really want to make a fight out of it, man. That was like, come on, man. You got to at least have some type of competitive little gene in you when it comes to something like this.
Yeah,
and he didn't really show that at all, man. Maybe but like a couple round, like on Twitter when I was there live, I was saying even halfway through the fight that I couldn't really, but give Herring one round halfway through the fight, and after the fight was stopped, those scorecards pretty much said, hey, that Stevenson pretty much won every round, so it was like a whole shutout in there, man. So.
That's why I give Devin Haney a lot of credit and Jorge Linares a lot of credit because Devin was doing similar, like he was dominating the fight, but Jorge, he eventually, he went back to what he does best, throw combinations. And then even when he was in the clinch, he was still throwing punches.
Yeah, it was like he didn't give up. He didn't, relinquish like any type of skills that he had in the past. Being a world champion, uh, previously and all of that. And he was able to catch, Devin Haney a couple of times late in the fight.
Yeah.
And kind of
Yeah.
like made that fight look a little bit, exciting there
Yeah.
for those last couple rounds.
Yeah, that's what we really wanted. We know that he wasn't gonna win, but I wanted Herring to try to rally. I'm like, that's what I wanted to see. Was he gonna rally back and at least try to mount an offense that was somewhat effective and would, constantly trying it? But he didn't do that.
Nope, he didn't do that
From
at
from
all.
what I found out today, they sparred each other, and he was already aware of the ass whooping that was about to proceed.
Yeah, Devin Haney and Jorge Linares had sparred before too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like Devin Haney was like by Jorge Linares when like Haney was what 9 years old, and then he grew up to like 16, 17, and they were sparring. So, but yeah, like you said, there, boxing learner, he like at least Jorge Linares, tried to give a little effort on this particular fight, against Haney, but you
And
didn't really
because
see that from
Herring, yeah, and
yeah
because of
Haney.
that, I want to see him fight. I want to see Jorge fight. As long as he can still fight, I still want to see him fight because I think he can still beat a lot of these guys. I think he can beat George Kambosos Jr. I think he can. I think him versus Comey would be a hell of a fight. I think him versus he beat Isaac Cruz. He beat a lot of guys.
No, relax. No, 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 no. Come on now. He ain't beating Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz will maul his ass. That would look like the fucking Cano
Dude,
fight.
he'll run in. Isaac Cruz will lead with his head. He gonna hit him.
That would look like the Pablo Cesar Cano fight where Linares got absolutely mauled. I'm telling you.
Nah, he's
Well,
not that guy. He's not the guy that Teofimo fought. This guy actually has he got skills. The guy that Teofimo fought and that Isaac knocked out is not the same. It's not doesn't compare to Jorge.
Well, we probably won't see Jorge for a while anyway, since he's not the Golden Boy anymore. So
Yeah,
it is what it is with that.
let him get with the zone. The zone keep him busy.
Yeah, he probably be straight over on the other side of other side of the world or something like that, man. With the way his promotional situation
Back
is.
to Japan for that guy.
Yep. Yeah. Also, man, you had a reaction in reference to the thing for Tank Davis and Rolly Romero, man. It's like, hey, you say it's gonna be barbecue chicken alert. Is that what you said in
Yeah,
the boxing learner?
yeah. I think they personally. I know a lot of people they really like Rolly because he's quote unquote entertaining. Honestly, I don't find him entertaining, and I don't think he's that good. I think he's got power. They say he got power, and they say he's determined, but I don't think that's enough. I think he's going to have some moments, but eventually, like he's going to get outclassed. And I think he's going to get hurt. I don't think he should be in this fight. I think he should be getting a couple more fights before he even stepped to Gervonta.
It's like,
You know what I just thought of?
look at his arms. He got T-Rex arms.
Rolly Romero is the type of guy who should be on the Contender.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Thanks for your contribution, Mike.
Forget you, Matt. Hey, Matt, you should listen to the show where I was talking to the other dude, the dude who don't make good arguments, and he just be like basing them off emotion. I was doing pretty well that day, but
Oh man.
he should be on that show though.
Listen, I like Rolly. I hope Tank is not taking him lightly. It doesn't look like Tank is taking him lightly because Rolly. One thing about Rolly, and apparently this is something that you can't say about Jamal Herring. Rolly is coming to win, and he's not going to get discouraged at any point in the fight. Like until the referee counts him out, Rolly's always going to think he's in the fight, and Rolly's always going to think he can win the fight. And that's all you can really ask from your fighters, Just give it your all and go out like a dog.
Fair
How
enough.
you know that's true though? You saying that with a lot of
That's
confidence. How you know that's true?
they also say that Rolly got a chin, but we never seen him get hit by anybody.
That's because he doing the hitting.
That's true, but why they say he got a chin though?
Because he do.
Okay, I will see.
Because he
Matt, what
do.
I'm saying is you saying that he gonna have a dog in him, and once he start facing adversity, that he will continue fighting through.
Yeah.
You don't know that, Matt. That
Listen,
when have we seen?
Rolly is a world class athlete. Okay. Rolly is an Olympic level judo wrestler. This dude has sparred the best of the young guys at 135.
He still ain't sparred Terrence Crawford yet.
That's not.
He routinely beat the hell out of Ryan Garcia. We saw the video, the unedited video of him just fucking Ryan Garcia up.
The whole
Teofimo
thing.
Lopez said he don't want to spar Rolly no more because Rolly too rough. Listen, this guy is coming to win, and I'm telling you, anybody that takes him lightly, do it at your own peril because Rolly will knock out a lot of dudes. Like a lot of people make fun of Rolly, but if Rolly was to fight these other guys like Cambosis, like Jojo Diaz and stuff like that, I would take Rolly to beat them.
Yeah, I don't know about George Cambosa Jr. I don't think he's that good, personally.
Hey Matt, this ain't like
I
your
ain't trying to be that
prediction.
guy. I ain't trying to be that guy. I ain't trying
Well,
to
Can
be
I
that
talk?
guy, but just remember, Rolly he's supposed to have an L on his record. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to be that guy.
Wow, because Jackson Marinez was jabbing that little pity pat jab. I don't care about that.
Hey Matt,
They got it
I'm
right.
just saying.
nah.
I got a question for Matt.
Yo.
Is this like your prediction where you said that Adam Konaki was like the next best coming or some shit like that? You say, is this similar to that, or is this like a good prediction?
Like the best way to sell your jokes is to not laugh at them before you finish, man. Come on, man.
Hey,
Don't do me like
all I
that.
know is Adam Konaki ain't that good. That's what I do know.
Hey, listen, Fat Boy, he
Did he
got
get knocked out
civilized.
again? Did he get knocked out again?
He got
He's
his
supposed
ass
to.
whipped. Got his orbital bone broken, all of that. But listen, that's because Hellenius
Hey,
was
Matt.
sparring with Wilder the whole time.
But he beat him before he was even sparring with Wilder.
Yeah, but that could have been whatever. But in the rematch, it looked like a whole different Hellenius. But you were like, we make it seem like the first fight, Kornacki got his ass whipped. That was a back and forth fight where it looked like Hellenius was getting ready to get out there. He caught Kornacki with a good shot that basically ended the night.
And then he realized Konaki don't move his head, and all I got to do is throw my big shots at him. And
Yeah,
guess what? We'll get him the fuck out of here.
yeah. But listen, he wasn't the first person to hit Kornacki. Kornacki, he was never known for moving his head. He's
Yeah.
been in some wars. You just never see him go down like that. So it makes you wonder if basically Konaki is the kind of guy that you should have cashed out early because he was never going to have a long career because of his fighting style.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
The point I'm making is it a bad prediction like you made with Rolly Miro? That's what I'm trying to ask you, Matt. Let's get to the
Listen,
bottom of it.
I'm not taking Rolly to beat Tank because Tank looked focused. So I'm just saying, don't underestimate Rolly. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Well, then he's gonna have to try to go ahead and get him out of there ASAP. Then
I think the
It
lack of
looked like shit before the Kawanaki fights. To be honest, though.
Say that again.
I said Hellenius looked like shit before the Kawanaki fights. To be fair.
Well,
he said Elanius, who didn't look that good as a fighter before the Kalinaki fight.
hey, listen, heavyweights are late bloomers. We all know that. Heavyweight is not a young man's division. Heavyweight has always been older guys division ever since the days of Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis was like the first late bloomer, and ever since then, all the heavyweight champions after that were basically late bloomers. The Klitschko's were late bloomers.
Yep.
You know, Wilder,
Especially Ladd.
late bloomer.
Like earlier in his career, Ladd was getting knocked out.
Yeah,
by
it
Layman
happens.
Brewster and Corey Sanders.
You know, this is how the heavyweight division is. You know, even Fury struggling with fucking tomato cans early in his career. He probably got beat by John McDermott, and he got a gift decision. You know, he got knocked down by Steve Cunningham. You know, this is just how heavyweight is. Heavyweight is you got to grow into your grown man strength and your grown man body and your grown man mind in order to succeed at heavyweight. The young niggas ain't doing it at heavyweight.
Them supplements help too now.
He said it was boar's meat. Come on, man.
Oh, man. And let me see if I could add in another guest.
Yo, what's going on, bruh?
Yo,
what's going on, bruh?
Yo, what you got on the fights?
Word up, bro. Well, what fights have you cats been watching, bro?
Yo, we've been on the Herring-Stevenson joint from yesterday, man. What you got to say on it?
Yo, listen, that junk was shit, bro. That was the worst fight I've watched in the last 10 years, bro. You had that Marine guy. What was his name? Herring, bro.
Yeah.
He looked more like a tin salmon, bro. That weren't good, bro.
The baseball player?
Yo, listen. I'm not talking about baseball. I'm talking about facts, bro. You had Herring. What is a herring famous for? Full of bones, bro. That's not the best fish. You had Shakur.
Yo, let me ask you a question. Are you on the Charlie?
Yeah.
No. I never take drugs. Never.
Are you well oiled?
No, I'm working tomorrow, so I'm just chilling, bro. I'm just chilling, bro. I don't take no form of any drugs. I've never done that. And to be honest, if you take drugs, that's really bad, not good.
Drugs are bad, okay? Hey,
yeah.
So yeah. What else do you see out that Stevenson Herring fight, man? That like we were saying, like Herring just really didn't.
It was garbage, man. Like, listen, Shakur was up about 6 or 7 rounds before I even woke up. There wasn't even a fight on that. It was a non-fight, so Shakur won, and that's it. Herring was too old, man.
So he's like too old, too slow.
He got blasted, got beat, got busted up.
But I'm like, but in the before you got on, we were talking about like other fighters that look like on paper that they didn't have the ability to really compete with their opponent, but at least they made a fight out of it. At least they were able to kind of like make a fight out of the joint. But Herring didn't make a fight out of this.
No, he had his best days about 6 years ago when he won the title. I think he won it in 2018. I think he got a gift decision in the 6th round against, what was it, Frampton, that guy, Irish guy. He was fucking shit as well.
He knocked Frampton out. What are you talking about?
Frampton was shit.
Yeah,
but that's not a gift decision.
It's not a gift decision.
No, it's a gift decision for me. That's that guy's shit. That guy's shit. So listen,
so who isn't shit in boxing?
Yeah, go on. Ask me a question.
Who isn't shit?
I think Tank's for real.
Tyson Fury.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on his fight with Rolly?
I think Rolly's going to get blasted in about the 8th round. I want Rolly to win that as well. I actually want Rolly to win that fight because I want things to change in boxing, but Rolly's going to get blasted, man. in about the 8th round, he's going to get knocked up.
Change how in boxing?
Yeah, you can ask me any question you want.
No,
I'll
it's
give.
You
change
want
what?
things to change how in boxing?
I just think it might need to change from like the sanctioning bodies and whatever's going on with the promoters, that they're gonna have to do something different, because 4 belts is too much. 4 belts is too much. You got WBO, RBF, RBA, you got the fucking WBC, and then you got Ring Magazine and Lineal. I've not got enough hands to you know what I'm on about. This is fucking a joke, man. You need to have 1 belt, 1 champion, and that's it.
Too much money going around. That's why they still keep those sanctioning bodies or whatever it is, man. So you're gonna have those titles there for a while, and the interim titles and the gold titles and the regular titles and all that type of stuff. It's just more money, you know. Like, you know, WBC, they could create belts, the Mestizo belt, the what is it?
You said the WBO. WBO was the original. That was a piss take.
Well, the WBO is like the latest organization. Well, at least with the IBF, they only have 1 belt for them. But you know, outside of that, you got like all of these other
Sorry to
organizations that
bother you
create,
all.
you know. So
I'm sorry to come in here, and like, obviously you can tell I've had a drink and that, but
Boss, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You said that you're not well oiled.
I'm well oiled, man. Listen, it's the internet, bro. Chill, bro. Come on, what the fuck you on about, bro? It's the fucking internet, bro. But listen, you know as well as I do that things do need to change in boxing. It's not nice, man.
Yeah, you know what else is not nice? Your countrymen shitting it from Otto Wallen.
Facts.
What are your thoughts on that?
yeah,
My facts on that piece of shit. That piece of shit, Dillian White. Listen, let me get this up, man. Let me get this up. Is a fucking piece of shit. That piece of shit is trying to fucking lever himself to get a fight against Tyson Fury. I don't like Tyson Fury either. Listen, Dillian White, piece of shit. Piece of shit. I'm a purist in terms of boxing, and I follow people that can get to that level, like your Durans, your Hearns, all these guys. And I personally think that what's actually going on with Dillian White, he's not actually got the ability or the actual he doesn't deserve to be in that spot, to be fair. One moment.
guess he says he don't necessarily have the proverbial cojones or whatnot. Maybe he went out to take a, you know. Hey, this is what happens in a live. Sometimes random stuff happens in a live.
It's gonna be a historical podcast.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. I can tell. Oh man, but at least he brought that up because, of course, we had Otto Wallin on the channel a couple of days ago, man. Friday, he had.
Hey, you need to put that on the podcast feed too.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that audio on there, man. Like, yo, because he had a lot to say in reference to, you know, what happened, you know, for that fight falling through. You'll see, you know, what his story was on how he got the news. So we'll put that up, and you get this reaction to what he said about that, among other things. But
do you blame Dillian White for actually doing that? If that gives him the best opportunity to fight for a title versus having to go through the fire and getting burnt?
Yes. Yeah. Don't sign the fight in the first place.
Time for
right.
Time for what?
No, you were saying something, Lerner?
Oh, I said, like, yeah, he shouldn't have signed the fight in the first place. And plus, he's talking about how much money that he lost. He was going to make way more money when he was going to fight Fury. So It doesn't really matter. That's not an excuse. I think it's possible that he could be injured, but people just don't trust Gillian because a
Yeah,
I
lot
but
of
don't think so.
here's the thing though. Like you don't necessarily like go into a contract and then have it be and say that it's going to be nullified due to an injury. Like you got to have something where there's going to be a makeup date or something like that.
Well, you know how these British guys are with these contracts. They love to try to get out of them. Ask Deontay Wilder.
Oh
Yeah.
man, but yo, that one with what Wallen said about that, yeah, it's a whole ordeal. Hopefully, I could get his promoter Dimitri Salita, see what he has to say about it, get some updates on what's going on with that. But yeah, most definitely, I'll have that portion there going up on the Anchor.fm or iTunes. You'll be able to catch the audio version on iTunes there. So for Otto Wally, and that's most definitely going to be um, something for people to hear. But also, uh, he did say something about the situation before he got had the agreement with Dylan White. Um, and I was like, yeah, real interested in him saying that he could have had a fight with somebody else. And that other fighter was Luis King Kong Ortiz.
Oh boy.
And uh and they say that it didn't necessarily get finalized, but for some reason I'm not necessarily surprised about that because as for me, I'm gonna just flat out say it. As long as Luis Ortiz still has that manager, like you could expect anything to
It
happen,
is
man.
that manager, right?
Yeah.
And that manager, he doesn't share information a lot either with Ortiz, it seems like. You
Yeah,
remember the whole Anthony Joshua fiasco? That was pretty embarrassing for him.
yeah, yeah, and I kind of like
Yeah, I heard about him in the boxing place.
you,
Who?
you said, huh? You said you
He
heard
was
it
on
from
the
what?
boxing voice, right?
Oh, no, no, no,
Oh
no,
no
no,
On the
no
no,
no
no,
boxing
no
no,
no no!
voice.
Oh no
nah,
no
nah,
no!
nah.
Oh,
We we we
hold
we
on,
we don't
hold
talk with
on.
boxing voice on here.
Yeah, yeah, we
We
don't
we
mention
have
that.
a no rats policy on the boxing source.
Well, with what you just mentioned, there might be a little bit of an investigation because yeah, we might have to look into something with that. So
But
uh
what do you? From talking to Wallen, Jr.
yep.
What in your best guess? What do you think is next for him?
As far as like legal or his next
His next opponent? Because I don't think it's going to be White. Whether or not he can recoup some of the money that he lost for training and
yeah,
maybe some part of that contract remains to be seen. But
yeah.
I don't think White is going to get in a ring with him. So who do you think is realistically next for him?
Ooh. Thing about it is, man, I don't know if he wants to like really get himself in a gear to try to get himself back in the ring that soon. Campus going through and everything like that. Um, man, with him being a free agent, he's pretty much like open to anything. But I don't know if my other thing would be if he could fight Robert Hellenius, mate, then instead.
Damn, does he really want to wait that long?
I don't know if he would want to do that. Yeah, I don't know if he would do that. So then,
Because
what
you
else
would
would be
think
the
that he would
option?
want to fight sooner rather than later since he
Yeah,
was
but
already getting ready for the White fight.
right. But here's the thing: are you gonna like get yourself back in the gear to get back in camp and maybe fight Luis Ortiz? Or
Well, does he? Yeah, why not?
yeah, so I mean, we'll see. I mean, does he? Let's see if they have enough money for him to go up against Luis Ortiz. I know that Matthew with Eddie Hearn trying to give an offer to fight Alan Babbitt.
Alan Babbage. Get the fuck out of here. This guy's trying to fight for a goddamn title,
Yeah,
and you're gonna offer him Alan Babbage,
Babbage.
and these dumbass British people gonna fucking eat it all up. Well, you should have fought Babbage, Mike. If you're really that deal, oh, you're ducking Babbage. Nobody gives a fuck about Alan Babbage. What is wrong with these British people?
Well, they have Babbage fighting Hergovich or something.
Yeah, who gives a shit about Alan Babbage?
Maybe Martin McCauley or something, man.
For
Like,
real.
come on, what's going on with y'all, man?
I do wonder what Wallen's relationship with PBC is.
Yeah, because he's kind of, off and on as far as like, dealing with them. And like he said, he had to deal with Showtime, and that, I guess, him alongside, Demetrius Salita said that they'll go ahead and have those fights on Showtime that he would have. So that's the thing on that, man. So I wonder like how that's gonna, go about. Let's see if we can hear more from a guy, man, about Dylan
He's
White.
gonna sleep.
Yo, hey, what more you have to say about
You
Dylan
need
White?
to just arrest me or go.
Yo, uh-oh.
Wait, are we witnessing domestic violence?
Hey, wait a minute. Yo,
Hey, Matt, don't say that.
yo, my God. You can't hear that?
It sounds like a bad breakup, Mike.
Yo, you didn't say that this is gonna be good. Oh no. Hey, man,
Y'all silly, man.
What is going on?
Yo, I have no idea what's going on, man. Yo, this thing on the podcast is gonna sound on.
Yo, we don't want to be no witness.
Yeah,
It's time to end the podcast.
yeah.
I'm not trying to be no witness.
We don't want to have no.
I'm not testifying.
Yeah, hey, we ain't gonna have nothing on camera. We ain't testifying. I'm not going to court. Yo, but I think that but on the real, that's probably all that I had to talk about, man. Yo, I'm ready to.
What's going on next week in boxing?
Oh,
Any good fights we should look at?
Oh man, our guy Kobe and Sosa Breedy will be that thing will be local though. That's here in DC on Friday.
Boots
they're
is
gonna
fighting, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
Boots is fighting.
Yeah,
I'm
Boots and he got that Jamal James fight
Oh,
in the main event there against Butayev. Boots is gonna be fighting against
Delorme.
Delorme.
which should have happened last year, but Delorme got hit with the COVID, so it didn't happen last year.
Mhm.
So there's that. Oh, there's also like a little bit of buzz going around in reference to Boots Ennis, and another high profile fighter that kind of like has people doubting the abilities of this said fighter, but that's kind of like on the inside. So that's almost like a rumor report level a story.
Do
So
you
that
care anything about the top ranked card?
uh Cepeda versus Vargas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think
Uh,
good.
I, I'll quote the words of the great Mike Grady. No comment.
When I said that,
Every
when I
time.
said that, okay, I'm gonna go back
What
on mute.
about Chantal Cameron versus Mary McGee?
Oh man, I don't know much about this.
Alan Babbage versus Lucas Brown. You care about that?
I don't know why that fight is even sanctioned. I'll just be honest with you. I don't know how that fight's even sanctioned.
Lucas Brown.
So that's just
Yeah, Lucas Brown lost to like an actor earlier this year. I was like, what the fuck? Some New Zealand actor.
yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. It I don't know, man. I'll just say this with the Cameron Mcgee fight. Well, for one, let's hope that Chantal Cameron makes weight. And number two, hopefully, she won't, overlook the experience of Mary McGee, or else she'll end up losing losing that fight. So, that's pretty much what I gotta say on that, man. Yo, on that note, man, I'm gonna close out this version of the Boxing Source Radio Show,
Shout
man.
out to Yo. Let's hope
Yeah, shout out to Yo.
let's hope that situation resolves itself.
Yep.
Yeah, for real. But we'll be back at it next week. Oh man. And like I say at the end of every show, folks, support the boxing is to hit, not get hit, not to send and trade. On that note, I'm out. Have a good evening, everybody.